This negotiation scenario is a labor contract between a construction company and a regional union. I will be representing the construction company. In this contract, the construction company has landed a lot of jobs, but they do not have the workforce to complete them. This is where the regional union comes in and they ask for higher pay, a safe work environment. I will be using the orange example that was given to us to describe the tactics and strategy I use to go about this scenario. The desired outcomes for the construction company were workforce or manpower to complete the jobs. They wanted to try to maximize the profits on each job site. They also had a high job site safety requirement going into this, and they also had a set requirement of hours that the employees are going to have to work every week to get these jobs done on their schedule. The desired outcomes for the regional union, they wanted to come in with higher pay, a safe work environment, and flexible schedules. The interests coming into this agreement with the construction company is they needed the men to complete the jobs, and they were willing to satisfy the needs of these workers, but they were also, like I said, they were going to try to ensure max profit with high quality. The key interests coming in for the regional union was they were looking for work. They didn't have a set schedule, and they were looking for that every day they can show up to work, and this company was going to give them multiple years of work to enforce that. Although they were looking for the stability, they also had a high expectation for working conditions along with pay. This company was a high-end company, and they were building very big, corporate buildings, and they knew their worth, and they wanted to come in with a high pay. Some walkaway alternatives for the construction company. They were If this deal did not go through, they were going to be able to hire subcontractors, but on the downside of this, they were going to have to pay the subcontractors out much, much more on this job. So they were not going to be able to profit nearly as much as they would with the union. Would have to delay or reschedule these jobs until they can settle an agreement with this regional union. If they were going to delay these jobs, there was potential for them falling through, and they did not want to lose out on any of this money to be made on these jobs. They could market or advertise to hire employees for their personal company. This process would also take a long time due to them needing such high volume of workers. So it was not going to be easy to hire hundreds of workers, within a week or two. Some walkaway alternatives for the union were to find other construction companies who would need workers. This didn't really have a time constraint. It could have been quick or long term. They could also have negotiated with competitors. So if they were able to work with this specific construction company, they were going to be able to go to some of their competitors and ask for what they wanted, and someone would benefit off of their laborers. Some of the bargaining strategies used for the construction company I used in this situation. In the very beginning of this negotiation, I would use the strategy of framing, and this would establish that both parties are going to be benefiting from this scenario. This was really important to start out the initiative on this scenario because of many reasons, including going into this deal for the regional union, they both sides had set qualities they wanted from this job, and they for the construction company to make this work and get their max profit, they needed the regional union to believe that they were benefiting and they weren't just doing the construction company a favor. After this, if I was in the construction company, I would establish a contingency agreement. So the union workers came in to this job asking for more money up front. This contingency agreement would allow the union workers to make more money based on how hard they worked and how quick they were finishing jobs. This would directly give them the pay they deserve on these job sites. It would be their own personal decisions on how much they made and how hard they worked. So I would use this leverage for pay in order to ensure that these jobs were getting done on time. And I would also allow to try to ensure that this contingency agreement on the pay side would go through. I would give them what they asked for with their workforce stability, along with the safe work environments. Some bargaining tactics that could be used for the union are higher pay, initiative to get work done with high quality and good timing, The union did not want to have to prove their worth to the construction company. They thought their value coming in, bringing all these workers, was benefiting the construction company immensely, and they thought they should be paid upfront what they deserve, and they shouldn't have to show what they're worth. Um, they have to make it evident to the construction company that they can go find more work, so that it's not an end all be all with them. So if they didn't like the agreements they came to, they could simply just move on and look for a better alternative. Um, some possible solutions that can go through with this scenario is the negotiation contract is set and the labor union workers get a high pay, safe work environment, and flexible schedules, but they are on a strict timeline with projects and pay can be decreased if they won't meet this timeline. So in this scenario, the contract went through and they were given, this is more benefiting the union side. They were given that high pay right away, but it was on the assumption that they are on the timeline with the construction company getting these jobs done at a fast pace. And if they weren't getting these jobs done at that fast pace, the money would be stripped. So it wasn't a set rate for the entire, 5 or 6 years they were going to work for them. It was, it could be taken away or given. Another possible solution was that the contract was not able to come to a conclusion with the regional union, and they did not want to go with this contingency plan because they felt like they were worth more money up front. Um, since they were giving this construction company all the manpower, now that this did not go through with the regional union, the construction company would have to subcontract out all this work, and they are going to make much, much less on this project, and that is not going to highlight their key terms coming into it, making that profit maximization. And then my third and final possible solution for this contract was the contract came to a positive conclusion. The construction company set a contingency plan for the regional union that allowed them to make more money based on their efficiency. The regional union also got work stability and a safe job environment like they had asked for. Both sides immensely gained from this scenario.